So, what do we have here? As it's been unloaded, I'll explain what it could be because when I went and had a look at it, I had absolutely no idea. I remember seeing this VC HDT render of an Opel Monza years ago, but these were a fastback like our Tiranas were, and they had quite different tail lights than our Commodores had anyway. So it definitely wasn't a Monza because the back end is the same as our Commodores. Then there was the Opel Senator. This was the sedan version of the Monza. It had the same taillights and front end with the later VK style rear quarter window. Next up we have the Opel Rekord. These are what we essentially based our Commodore on. GM made quite a few changes to these, including strengthening the chassis and swapping out the shorter front end for the longer Monza/Senator front end to accommodate our larger engines. Also, these were drag link steering, whereas we changed ours out for a rack and pinion. They came in a 2-door and a 4-door variant, as well as the 2-door wagon or caravan that we never seen over here. So chances are this was going to be an Opel Rekord. While researching the Opel Rekords in Australia, I come across an interesting thread on the ADAR Sportif. It was made by the DIA Motor Company back in the early 80s, and they took the last 11 VH Commodores off the production line and chopped them up and added Opel Rekord doors and quarter panels. They also grafted in Fairlane headlights for some reason. I think 5 have been accounted for so far. Ugly GMH has bought number 1 and has done a really nice job turning it into a VH SS replica. I'll leave a link in the description with the thread below. So after finding all of that out, I was actually wondering if I did have myself an ADAR Sportif, but nope, it's an Opel Rekord. The Rekords come out left-hand drive, so I'm not really sure what this one's doing right-hand drive, but it definitely is. It's got Rekord compliance plates and holes in the front of the chassis rails where the drag link steering used to be, so it's had a pretty decent firewall swap because you can't tell. The car was last registered in 95, I think it was, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue to get it registered again. It's had a Commodore K-frame and steering rack, column, all that kind of stuff fitted to it, but if you have a look at that firewall, you can't tell it's been changed at all. It has got a fiberglass patch on the passenger side that was covering up the old aircon holes. They've used a lot of that fiberglass in this thing, which kind of worries me. So it is pretty rusty, as you can see from this corner here, and someone's tried to hack speaker holes in with an axe. The boot floor is fine, that's just sunlight bleeding through there, but the spare wheel well is full of that fiberglass as well. But the rest seems okay. I guess we'll find out when we get it back from sandblasting. Even more of that fiberglass stuff just plastered all across the beaver panel here, so I'm just going to unpick that and replace the whole panel. A little bit of Beaujolais in the corner here. We'll take all that out and tap it out a bit better. I'm really not sure what happened here. I think someone got hungry, so we're going to have to fix that. You can see some daylight bleeding through the floor pan there, so I'm going to have to go through, replace the lower sections of the rear floor pans. Same as the front 2 floor pans, I'm going to have to replace them as well by the looks of it. Firewall actually looks pretty good, so hopefully that will be fine. So yeah, I think we'll just have to send it off to the sandblasters and see what we get back. I picked up this yellow VH Commodore for some rust cuts. It's got really good floor pans in it, the wheel arches and a few other bits and pieces that I need for it. It also came with a few other panels that he gave me, like the beaver panel and just a couple other bits and pieces that I needed. So I should have everything I need as far as rust sections go. Now, speaking about rusty, this is my 1975 C10 tow truck. I know it doesn't really look like it now, but it will be soon. This thing was extremely rusty. We had to take all of the sill panels off, do all the inners and outers. All the firewall needed replacing. Both floor pans and inner kick panels got replaced. New sheet metal firewall will be fitted. And even the wiper tray up the top there was all gone. We had to replace all of that as well. And this thing took me nearly a year to complete in my spare time, in amongst all the other stuff that we do. So I'm under no illusion that the thing's going to get done anytime soon either. So what's the plan, I hear you ask? Well, nothing for now. I'm just going to stash it down the back of my workshop here and forget I even bought it. Nah, but seriously, I do need to find a few bits and pieces for it. Like, I'm missing the glass from the driver's side, which is going to be really hard to get here in Australia, but I can find the glass in Germany reasonably easy by the looks of it, but getting it here and speaking German is its own issue. What I would really like to do with it is turn it into an SS Group 3 replica, kind of like number 1 ADAR, but in the red. Actually, I'll show you. My friend's got one. So this is it, VHSS Group 3. This particular one is genuine, so it's worth quite a lot of money, and he's done a really nice job doing a nut and bolt restore on this thing. Like, literally everything has been gone through, re-zinked or repainted. Like, everything looks perfect. He isn't quite done with it yet, but geez, it'll be nice when it's done. One of the reasons that I actually want to do one of these is you can still buy all of this interior brand new. You can still get the body kit from HDT, and I wouldn't mind those 20-inch replica Ermischer wheels. I reckon that'd go quite nice on there with the LS combo that I will eventually put in mine. But for now, just have a bit of a squiz at this. While I was down there, I managed to scab one of the original VHSS spoilers off him that he had lying around from the rebuild. But considering it is an Opel, it's never going to be anything genuine or worth any money in that regard, so I think a VHSS Group 3 replica would look quite nice in this thing, especially the red. Maybe the white? I don't know. Tell me what you guys reckon in the comments, see what you reckon that you do with it anyway. But thanks for watching, and we'll see what happens in the next video.